Larger-than-life Dave Moore and his encyclopedic motoring knowledge. Dave Moore at the wheel in 2001. Fairfax motoring writer Rob Maitzig pays tribute to his motoring journalism buddy of 28 years, Dave Moore, who died suddenly on Wednesday. Back in 1990, as New Zealand prepared to host the Commonwealth Games, Toyota New Zealand decided to take on the Kiwi motoring press in a track and field contest at Auckland's Mount Smart Stadium. The occasion started well enough for Toyota, with skinny and long-legged marketing types cleaning out the journalists in most of the track events. But then it was time for field, and into the limelight strode a big bugger from Christchurch called Dave Moore. He was a Welshman who'd recently taken over the motoring role at the press, and nobody knew much about him. Turned out that in his younger days he had been a nationally ranked athlete in the UK, and he proceeded to win every event that involved throwing something discus, javelin, and shot. As a result, the media won that fun contest between the motor industry and the journos, with Dave the larger-than-life character at the center of it all. Dave Moore, right, with rally driver Possum born at Auckland's Maramarua Forest in 2002. For the next 27 years Dave remained larger than life, at the very epicenter of New Zealand motoring journalism, a man with encyclopedic knowledge, boundless enthusiasm for motoring, strongly opinionated, and playing a crucial role in establishing the credibility and news value this form of journalism enjoys today. But on Wednesday tragedy struck. Dave died suddenly while attending a new vehicle launch in central Otago. I wasn't there when Dave died. I'd been down in Wanaka attending the introduction of a new Audi. I'd been in top form at dinner on the Tuesday evening, in his usual fashion regaling everyone with his opinions on the state of the motor industry and the vehicle the subject of the launch. Dave and Boone the dog, each with their own writing awards, in 2002. The plan for Wednesday morning was to drive the new Audi at a nearby racetrack. Just ordered breakfast when he suddenly collapsed, and could not be revived. Audi New Zealand promptly cancelled the remainder of the event, and arranged for the journalists to be flown home. As all this was happening, the news quickly reverberated around New Zealand. I was in Auckland with another group of writers at another motoring event, when Dave's death became known. Then the telephone calls began, mostly from the motor industry itself. Was this true? Had the legendary Dave Moore passed away? The tributes stared flowing. Dave Moore on a test drive in 2001. The New Zealand motor industry has just lost a legend, was how Motor Industry Association Chairman Glenn Tulloch put it. They certainly eased the way for one of my most difficult assignments, to prepare an obituary on my old mate Dave, who had been a close friend and a part of my journalism life for close to 3 decades. Dave's motoring knowledge was encyclopedic, said Tulloch, who is Group General Manager of European Motor Distributors. He also had a passion for good journalism and correct grammar. I knew that whenever Dave was around I had to make sure my grammar and punctuation were correct. Motor industry veteran John Manley, the managing director of Nissan New Zealand and a former MIA president, fondly remembers events attended by Dave Moore and other long-time motoring journalists such as Brian Cowan of Christchurch and Docklands, Alan Dick and Al Sloan. "Those guys used to regale you with outstanding tales," he recalls. "But I always also admired Dave for his totally unbiased motor vehicle reviews. They were always reasoned and well thought out, whether he thought the product to be good or otherwise." Welsh-born Dave Moore emigrated to New Zealand in the late 1970s and was employed as a design artist and copywriter with the Christchurch Star, and at that stage he began to move into motoring journalism, writing about cars on a freelance basis for the Star and local community newspapers. In 1986 he was appointed creative director at the Press, where he was heavily involved in the newspaper's editorial redesign in 1988. A year later he assumed responsibility for motoring, and was formally appointed motoring editor in 1992. This eventually morphed into group motoring editor with Fairfax New Zealand, a role he maintained until he left Fairfax in 2015. Dave's professional excellence resulted in his winning numerous motoring journalism awards. He won 15 of the Old Qantas Awards and was a finalist 3 times. He won 27 so-called Henry Awards that were sponsored by Ford, and he twice won the journalism category in the AA Automotive Excellence Awards. Dave was very proud of his achievements, almost as proud as he was of his family. Met his Christchurch-born wife Patricia while she was doing Hero in the United Kingdom, and he loved her to bits. He was also very proud of his children, son Sam and daughter Billy, who are forging high-profile careers in their chosen professions. While the pile of awards Dave Moore amassed officially recognized his excellence as a writer, his contribution to the motoring journalism profession and to its relationship with the motor industry was a lot more than that. Dave was always a great companion at the press events, says Paul Carroll, now senior general manager with Lexus New Zealand, who vividly remembers that introduction to the man at Mount Smart. He had a great sense of humor, was very fair in his reporting, and he had an encyclopaedic knowledge of all things motoring. He will be greatly missed.